Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Make fit or prepared. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. Prove capable or fit. Meet requirements. Describe or portray the character or the qualities or peculiarities of. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make more specific. Qualify these remarks. Pronounce fit or able. Make fit or prepared. Make receptive or willing towards an action or attitude or belief. Throw or cast away. Give, sell, or transfer to another. She disposed of her parents' possessions. Place or put in a particular order. The dots are unevenly disposed. The procedure that is varied in order to estimate a variable's effect by comparison with a control condition. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. A state at a particular time. A condition, or state, of disrepair. Usually plural, a statement of what is required as part of an agreement. The contract set out the conditions of the lease. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. Information that should be kept in mind when making a decision. A mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing. The human condition. An illness, disease, or other medical problem. A heart condition. Apply conditioner to in order to make smooth and shiny. I condition my hair after washing it. Establish a conditioned response. Put into a better state. He conditions old cars. Decide upon or fix definitely. Specify the parameters. Determine the essential quality of. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. Select something or someone for a specific purpose. Design or destine. Be specific about. Could you please specify your criticism of my paper? Define clearly. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The will stipulates that she can live in the house for the rest of her life. Give a guarantee or promise of. They stipulated to release all the prisoners. Make an oral contract or agreement in the verbal form of question and answer that is necessary to give it legal force. Prove capable or fit. Meet requirements. Describe or portray the character or the qualities or peculiarities of. Be characteristic of. Describe or portray the character or the qualities or peculiarities of. You can characterize his behavior as that of an egotist. Be characteristic of. What characterizes a Venetian painting? Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make less severe or harsh or extreme. Please modify this letter to make it more polite. Teach and supervise. Someone, act as a trainer or coach. 2, as in sports. He is training our Olympic team. Create by training and teaching. The old master is training world-class violinists. Teach or refine to be discriminative in taste or judgment. Develop, a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Is this dog trained? A sequentially ordered set of things or events or ideas in which each successive member is related to the preceding. Train of mourners. Wheelwork consisting of a connected set of rotating gears by which force is transmitted or motion or torque is changed. The fool got his tie caught in the gear train. Drag loosely along a surface. Allow to sweep the ground. She trained her long scarf behind her. Undergo training or instruction in preparation for a particular role, function, or profession. She is training to be a teacher. Travel by rail or train. She trained to Hamburg. Public transport provided by a line of railway cars coupled together and drawn by a locomotive. Express trains don't stop at Princeton Junction. Educate for a future role or function. They trained him to be a warrior. A procession, of wagons or mules or camels, traveling together in single file. They joined the wagon train for safety. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. He trained his gun on the burglar. A series of consequences wrought by an event. It led to a train of disasters. Cause to grow in a certain way by tying and pruning it. Train the vine. Exercise in order to prepare for an event or competition. She is training for the Olympics. Piece of cloth forming the long back section of a gown that is drawn along the floor. The bride's train was carried by her 2 young nephews. Create by training and teaching. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Prepare for war. Undergo training or instruction in preparation for a particular role, function, or profession. Prepare for eating by applying heat. Educate for a future role or function. The prince was prepared to become king one day. Arrange by systematic planning and united effort. Lead up to and soften by sounding the dissonant note in it as a consonant note in the preceding chord. Prepare the discord in bar 139. To prepare verbally, either for written or spoken delivery. Prepare a report. A man who has recently been married. Care for one's external appearance. He is always well groomed. Someone employed in a stable to take care of the horses. A man participant in his own marriage ceremony. Give a neat appearance to. Groom the dogs. Educate for a future role or function. He is grooming his son to become his successor. Become smaller or draw together. Enter into a contractual arrangement. Reduce in scope while retaining essential elements. Contract bridge. The highest bid becomes the contract setting the number of tricks that the bidder must make. Make or become more narrow or restricted. A variety of bridge in which the bidder receives points toward game only for the number of tricks he bid. Compress or concentrate. Engage by written agreement. Squeeze or press together. The spasm contracted the muscle. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. A binding agreement between two or more persons that is enforceable by law. Make smaller. The heat contracted the woolen garment. Enter into a contractual arrangement. Promise to do or accomplish. Accept as a charge. Enter upon an activity or enterprise. Accept as a challenge. Doctor's degree in osteopathy. Carry out or perform an action. Carry on or function. We could do with a little more help around here. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. Will $100 do? Create or design, often in a certain way. Get something done. An uproarious party. Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. What makes her do this way? Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Proceed or get along. How is she doing in her new job? Engage in. Do research. Carry out or practice, as of jobs and professions. Arrange attractively. Spend time in prison or in a labor camp. The syllable naming the first, tonic, note of any major scale and psalmization. Travel or traverse, a distance. This car does 150 miles per hour. Mate with. Male animals serve the females for breeding purposes. Be used by, as of a utility. The sewage plant served the neighboring communities. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. Nothing else will serve. Work for or be a servant to. May I serve you? Serve a purpose, role, or function. The tree stump serves as a table. Sports. A stroke that puts the ball in play. His powerful serves won the game. Deliver a warrant or summons to someone. Help to some food. Help with food or drink. I served him 3 times, and after that he helped himself. Promote, benefit, or be useful or beneficial to. Art serves commerce. Spend time in prison or in a labor camp. Provide, usually but not necessarily food. We serve meals for the homeless. Contribute or conduce to. The scandal served to increase his popularity. Devote, part of one's life or efforts to, as of countries, institutions, or ideas. She served the art of music. Do duty or hold offices, serve in a specific function. He served as head of the department for 3 years. Do military service. She served in Vietnam. Put the ball into play. It was Agassiz' turn to serve. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. A B grade doesn't suffice to get me into medical school. React verbally. She didn't want to answer. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. A few words would answer. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. The answers were in the back of the book. A statement, either spoken or written, that is made to reply to a question or request or criticism or accusation. I waited several days for his answer. Understand the meaning of. The question concerning the meaning of life cannot be answered. A nonverbal reaction. His answer to any problem was to get drunk. Be liable or accountable. She must answer for her actions. Be satisfactory for. Meet the requirements of or serve the purpose of. This may answer her needs. Give a defense or refutation of a charge, or in an argument. The defendant answered to all the charges of the prosecution. Give the correct answer or solution to. Answer a question. Match or correspond. The drawing of the suspect answers to the description the victim gave. React to a stimulus or command. The steering of my new car answers to the slightest touch. Respond to a signal. Answer the door. The principal pleading by the defendant in response to plaintiff's complaint. In criminal law it consists of the defendant's plea of guilty, or not guilty, or nolo contendere. In civil law it must contain denials of all allegations in the plaintiff's complaint that the defendant hopes to controvert, and it can contain affirmative defenses or counterclaims. The speech act of replying to a question. Intend to refer to. Look on as or consider. Keep in mind for attention or consideration. Devise or invent. Take into consideration, have in view. Choose in one's mind. Keep in mind for attention or consideration. Recall knowledge from memory. Have a recollection. I can't remember saying any such thing. Mention as by way of greeting or to indicate friendship. Call to remembrance. Keep alive the memory of someone or something, as in a ceremony. We remembered the 50th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. Recapture the past. Indulge in memories. He remembered how he used to pick flowers. Exercise, or have the power of, memory. After the shelling, many people lost the ability to remember. Mention favorably, as in prayer. Remember me in your prayers. Show appreciation to. He remembered her in his will. Determine the sum of. Bestow a quality on. The music added a lot to the play. State or say further. A condition, mostly in boys, characterized by behavioral and learning disorders. Make an addition by combining numbers. Constitute an addition. This paper will add to her reputation. Make an addition, to, join or combine or unite with others. Increase the quality, quantity, size or scope of. We added 2 students to that dorm room. Trade name of a company that produces musical recordings. The artists and repertoire department of a recording label is responsible for finding new talent. Pronounce judgment on. They labeled him unfit to work here. Attach a tag or label to. Label these bottles. A brief description given for purposes of identification. The label modern is applied to many different kinds of architecture. An identifying or descriptive marker that is attached to an object. A radioactive isotope that is used in a compound in order to trace the mechanism of a chemical reaction. Assign a label to. Designate with a label. These students were labeled, learning disabled. Distinguish, an element or atom, by using a radioactive isotope or an isotope of unusual mass for tracing through chemical reactions. Distinguish, as a compound or molecule, by introducing a labeled atom. Speak, pronounce, or utter in a certain way. She pronounces French words in a funny way. Pronounce judgment on. Judge tentatively or form an estimate of quantities or time. Pronounce judgment on. Form a critical opinion of. I cannot judge some works of modern art. An authority who is able to estimate worth or quality. Put on trial or hear a case and sit as the judge at the trial of. The judge tried both father and son in separate trials. A public official authorized to decide questions brought before a court of justice. Determine the result of a competition. Cause spermatozoa to undergo the physical changes necessary to fertilize an egg. Make capable. This instruction capacitates us to understand the problem. Make legally capable or qualify in law. Provide with clothes or put clothes on. Qualify for teaching at a university in Europe. He habilitated after his sabbatical at a prestigious American university. Give something useful or necessary to. We provided the room with an electrical heater. Supply means of subsistence. Earn a living. He provides for his large family by working 3 jobs. Mount or put up. Give what is desired or needed, especially support, food or sustenance. The hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Make a possibility or provide opportunity for, permit to be attainable or cause to remain. This procedure provides for lots of leeway. Determine what is to happen in certain contingencies, especially by including a proviso condition or stipulation. The will provides that each child should receive half of the money. Take measures in preparation for. Provide for the proper care of the passengers on the cruise ship. Celebrate by some ceremony or observation. The citizens mark the anniversary of the revolution with a march and a parade. Insert punctuation marks into. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Mark homework. Remove from a list. A symbol of disgrace or infamy. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. A visible indication made on a surface. Some previous reader had covered the pages with dozens of marks. A person who is gullible and easy to take advantage of. A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. She made good marks in algebra. A perceptible indication of something not immediately apparent, as a visible clue that something has happened. Something that exactly succeeds in achieving its goal. Hit the mark. An indication of damage. formerly the basic unit of money in Germany. A distinguishing symbol. The owner's mark was on all the sheep. Apostle and companion of St. Peter, assumed to be the author of the second gospel. To accuse or condemn or openly or formally or brand as disgraceful. A marking that consists of lines that cross each other. Make small marks into the surface of. A reference point to shoot at. His arrow hit the mark. The shortest of the four Gospels in the New Testament. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Mark off the units. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. Attach a tag or label to. Notice or perceive. Mark my words. Mark with a scar. Make underscoring marks. A written or printed symbol, as for punctuation. His answer was just a punctuation mark. Designate as if by a mark. This sign marks the border. Make or leave a mark on. The scouts marked the trail. The impression created by doing something unusual or extraordinary that people notice and remember. It was in London that he made his mark. Evolve so as to lead to a new species or develop in a way most suited to the environment. Mark as different. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. Become different during development. Cells differentiate. Become distinct and acquire a different character. Calculate a derivative. Take the derivative. Identify as in botany or biology, for example. Detect with the senses. Mark as different. We distinguish several kinds of maple. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. His modesty distinguishes him from his peers. Make conspicuous or noteworthy. Walk heavily. Something that can be used as an official medium of payment. Machine consisting of a heavy bar that moves vertically for pounding or crushing ores. Raise in a relief. Treat or classify according to a mental stereotype. A small adhesive token stuck on a letter or package to indicate that postal fees have been paid. A symbol that is the result of printing or engraving. He put his stamp on the envelope. A small piece of adhesive paper that is put on an object to show that a government tax has been paid. A device incised to make an impression, used to secure a closing or to authenticate documents. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. A block or die used to imprint a mark or design. Affix a stamp to. Are the letters properly stamped? A type or class. More men of his stamp are needed. Crush or grind with a heavy instrument. Stamp fruit extract the juice. Destroy or extinguish as if by stamping with the foot. Stamp out tyranny. Form or cut out with a mold, form, or die. Stamp needles. Reveal clearly as having a certain character. His playing stamps him as a romantic. to mark, or produce an imprint in or on something. A man whose name is permanently stamped on our maps.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.